Sonic after this. We get some ice cream.
Oh, now come on.
Going to the community pool.
Come on now.
Trying to catch Corona. All right, we're here for another episode of Pastors React, and today I'm with my man, Andrew Sutherland. And if there's anything I know about Andrew Sutherland, he is an awesome dad. And so we're talking about that hashtag dad life today. And you might hear some background noise because our kids are on this super awesome playground, by the way.
Yeah, they are, man.
I'm loving this new playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
nice
Andrew.
shade too.
Man, you are an incredible dad. I mean, I watch you like patient with your kids. You're teaching them all the time. You got 3 of them. And you're just a great dad, man. What do you love about being a dad? I mean, what's kind of your favorite thing about being a dad?
You know, I would say one of the biggest things that I enjoy most about being a dad are like the little moments. You know, those are the ones that really stand out to me the most. A lot of people, they get focused on like the big trip, the big event. But man, I just love the everyday life.
Every day.
Dinner around the table, sitting on the counter, eating some Doritos, waiting for supper to get ready. That kind of, you know, those little conversations. Come in the door, kids run up to you and
that's
welcome
one of my favorite things. When you walk in the door,
you can't
and
beat
it is
that.
like you are a rock star.
And his name is John C.
Man, I just love that. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like if there's anything I was born for, it was to be a dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, you know, moderately uncool, and so I get that really well. And
I mean, I'm the one with the tall socks.
those are cool. You need to show those to the camera. I mean, those are some powerful
Look at that.
socks. You got some powerful sock
You
packs.
said hashtag dad life. So.
Yeah.
How do you do, fellow kids?
That's what we're going.
Yeah, but think about being a dad. I just, like you said, I just love it when you teach kids something over and over and over again, and you think they're not getting it. There's no way they're getting it, and then they'll say something or do something that you're like, okay, they're getting it.
Yeah, it'll stick at some point.
At some point in time, eventually it does.
But let me ask you this though.
Yep.
So that's your favorite thing about being a dad. What's the thing that frustrates you the most about being a dad?
All right, so there's a few things. So we'll just start here. One, I hate sticky. And so if kids get syrup in their hair, on their face, popsicles, and they bring it to you, and it's just, man, it's the grossest thing to me. 2, constant whining. Like I hear behind me, my 3-year-old's like, I don't even know what's going on. But as a dad of 5 kids, I've learned there's injured cries.
Yeah.
And then there's just cries, and that's not an injured cry. That's just somebody upset me.
I want another popsicle cry.
Yeah, and then the third thing for me is when nobody did it. You know, something's broken, there's water on the floor. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
You know, the invisible man did it. So those things are really, really frustrating. How about you, man? What are some things that just like irks you as a dad?
You know, I think when I was a first-time dad, first child, I think I thought that kids just came pre-wired like a robot.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
And I had to realize very quickly that kids aren't robots. And so you were saying a minute ago, you know, you tell them 100 times over and over again, and then it ends up happening, they finally get it. But a lot of people
here
think
we go.
like,
hey, what's going on? What happened? Katie won't let you have a popsicle. That's because the last 2 are for me and Mr. Andrew. So we're gonna have to wait. Is that okay? All right, thank you. You're doing good. All right, go play. We'll get a popsicle later, okay? If you're good, we'll get you ice cream.
Ice cream. There you go.
Wow. On cue, 3-year-old.
I would say for me, kids aren't robots. So you tell them 100 times, you almost think like,
is that
one
right?
time is enough.
So if you tell them like, hey, we're doing a video shoot, need you to stay back and play in the playground, they'll come crying every time.
Every single time. So
that's part of being a dad, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen.
It's the fun part.
You're really funny. I don't know if people know that, but what is I mean, you and me, we exchange dad jokes at an incredible rate. What's your favorite dad joke?
All right, I got a few that are kind of my top ones.
Okay, top ones, top
All right,
Andrew dad jokes.
What did the attorney name his daughter? Sue.
Sue!
That's my favorite one.
Okay, so I don't know, Andrew, I don't think I did this before I was a dad, but every single time somebody's like, oh, you got a haircut. I'm like, no, I got a bunch of hairs cut. And I'm really punny. I mean, I'm just all the time dropping
The thing
puns.
is, you always come out with those ones like, you know, the
real
Benny-isms. You know, you always come out with the ones for Ben.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
those
say
out
Ben
there.
has Benergy.
Yeah, that's a...
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when we're sitting at Starbucks, it's like Benergy. He's got a lot of energy.
Bro,
right
we
now.
have a lot of fun. Being dad's great, but if we're really honest, in the culture at large, if there's any big problem, I would say that's identifiable as a cultural decline, is that dads are absent.
And really, what I realized about 4 or 5 years ago, when my kids were still very, very small, was that they need me there.
Yeah.
They just need me to be present. They need me to tuck them in every night. They need me to eat dinner with them. They need me to laugh. That's what they really need. And I think a lot of guys kind of miss that point. They think the big trip is more important than the everyday life. That's why I say the journey is bigger than the destination.
Daddy, open this. That's we get the daddy open this a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
There you go, sweetie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that just the truth is, being a dad is hard.
Yeah.
You know, being a husband's difficult, and every day, if you don't get up and work at it, then yeah, it's really easy for people just to step out. But I don't know, I know you know this, but the hardest things we do in life are also the most meaningful.
Yeah.
And so there might not be anything we do that's more difficult than being a dad, but I think dads step out because it's difficult. And you know, a lot of dads are good at work. They know how to A plus B equals C.
Yeah.
And it's not like that at home. You know, the needs are constant, and you know, somebody's got a poopy diaper, and then this child needs this, and then you need to relate to your wife and try to be there for her. And sometimes for dads, they just quit because it's hard.
Or they perceive it to be something different than what it's supposed to be. They think it's supposed to be this picture, and it's actually this picture, and they can't understand that this picture is okay because that's the way that God made it. It's my picture, it's my family. Those are the kids. You know, they may not be what I thought they were going to look like, but they're
mental
better.
picture's not what reality is.
Exactly.
And I think you and I have a unique blessing that I feel like has probably made it somewhat easier for us, in that we both have dads that have been there, that have modeled the way, that have showed us a relationship with Jesus, and we got it.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah. We just have some slight injuries going on in the background, but everything's going well.
Just having fun.
But it's part of being a dad, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this though. So for the guys that are there and the guys that are watching this right now, what would you say is something that you have learned the most and that you think that every dad should know?
Yeah, I want to lean into that a little bit with you and me, because I think there's a lot. There he is.
That's okay. That's all right. Go play.
Told y'all he was a good
okay.
dad. Look how caring he is.
It'll be all right. Hey, look out. It's okay. Go climb. Go climb with Ethan. Go climb with Ethan.
There he goes. They're off again.
I don't know what that last part was.
So we're talking about just some things we've learned. So I think this is going to sound so simple and so basic, but just being there, not quitting. I think as a dad, just, you know, you're going to have days you're just going to absolutely blow it as a dad, and you're going to be mean, you're going to say some things you shouldn't, you're not going to discipline well, you're going to have not much patience. Get up the next day and have a better day.
Yeah.
Don't quit on your family because things get hard. Don't quit on your wife, you know, checking on the heart of mama, you know, making sure your relationship with your wife is primary, I think is absolutely important.
Yeah,
I got some others. Tell me some things you've learned.
Well, so Pastor Jeff said this one time several years ago, and it has always stuck with me, and it's something that I do every single day. Tell your kids you believe in them. You tell them, like, I believe in you. I know you can do this. You know, especially
Like
in
tell them
those,
they're a winner kind
yeah,
of? Yeah, I
like
love
that.
it.
Don't listen to these people, Ricky. You're a winner. You got the gift. Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
But especially when, you know, you're trying to instruct them to do something. Like, let's say they're getting in trouble for something that they've done 100 times, like telling a lie, or, you know, hitting their brother or breaking something. And you tell them, like, look, I believe in you. I know you can not do these things. You're going to get through this and do that. And then I think another one is just being consistent. I try to just want to make sure that with everything that we do, we're as consistent as possible with love, consistency, and just respect to them too as well.
I love it. You said something about, you know, I believe in you. I read the other day that a father's primary role is to be an encourager. And I've been thinking about that a lot, you know, like, because in a father, children see strength. And they're the person that they look to the most to say, hey, will you validate that I'm valuable?
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is believing in them, absolutely. What do you think, Joy?
You know, I think another one is, you know, always hug them and show them affection. You know, there's nothing wrong, especially as a big dad. You know, you give them a hug and you tell them how much you love them.
Give me a hug
and you're constantly just
all right, go play.
Just show them how much you believe in them and appreciate them.
Yeah, I believe in you, Joy. Go play. Absolutely. I'll tell you another thing that, listen, all you dads need to get this. I know Andrew gets this. It is to have parents that are friends that are further along the journey than you are, that you can learn from. You know, I've had the incredible blessing of watching Pastor Grady Sutton, Pastor Rob Britton, Pastor Dave Chanel, Pastor Jeff Crook, Pastor Christopher Martin, that are all about 10 years older than me. And man, they've all raised kids. Stephen Odom, that just, their kids just love the Lord, and I've just watched them in parenting, and they've taught me so many things. Like I remember a little thing Jennifer Sutton told me years ago that's really stuck with me. She said, don't waste bedtime. She's like, bedtime is such a great time to pray with your kids, and even though you're tired and they're tired, they'll talk to you. I mean, we've had some of the best conversations around bedtime when I was just honestly stinking tired.
You know, and I think another, to kind of piggyback on that, is to say that, you know, you listen to them. There's going to be so many times where your kid's going to talk to you about Fortnite, and you're at the dinner table and you're like, I have heard about Fortnite for 6 months straight, and he's going to tell me the 12th time today that he had this many, you know, in that match and all that, all those things. And you know what? Be completely interested in what he's telling you, because if you believe in him now and if you listen to him now, then when those topics change when he's much older, he's going to come to you with those things.
Yeah, and that makes me think of something that has really helped me throughout the years. It's from the scripture. It says, raise up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he'll not depart from it. And that's been really helpful for me. But so new dads, a lot of young dads out there, maybe guys that are expecting to be dads, young men. What's the best advice you could give them?
So the best advice that my dad gave me before we had our oldest, my daughter, he said, love your wife and love her well. He said, when you come home every day, he said, make sure that you don't forget to kiss your wife. He said, walk in the door and make sure that she knows she's important, because those kids are going to run up to you and they're going to welcome you and they're going to love you. They're going to hug you. They're going to be so excited to see you, but never forget to walk up and hug her and tell her how important she is, and then date her often. That's what he always told me.
Man, that's gold. Y'all listen to that? That's golden. I would also say to young dads that are in the hard season, man, it's tiring, but that season ends quickly. So just you know, gut it out, because you're going to get through it. And I just think one more thing we need to just make clear is that the most important thing you can do is point your children to Jesus.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know how you are, Andrew, but I got like 5 or 6 things about Jesus that I'm telling them over and over till they're sick of hearing me say it. I mean, I'm telling them all the time, you know, love God, love people. God made you with value. I know something I tell my kids all the time is you make your choices and then your choices make you. They're sick of hearing that, but you see those little seeds we plant as dads throughout their life. As we water them, they grow. And my prayer is that my 5 will grow into be kids that love and serve Jesus. They just love him with all their heart. I know you're thinking the same thing.
Absolutely. You know, and to teach them to pray and to teach them that early. You know, they're never too young to teach them how to pray. I mean, right now, Rhett and I will kneel at his bed every night and you know, we have this same kind of prayer that we say every night. And, you know, he's getting to the point now where he's kind of just repeating it, you know, and going so quickly through it. But it's teaching him those basics of prayer. And I think that's incredibly important, because then he is going to take those prayers to Jesus when he gets older.
And ultimately, our kids don't do what we say. They become who we are. Isn't that right? I mean, they become us. That's really what parenting is about. And so men, if you're not walking with the Lord, that's the first step, is get your life right with Jesus. Start walking with the Lord. Get in fellowship with other godly men. Andrew, iron sharpens iron. So one man sharpens the countenance of another. I'm a better dad because I hang around this guy.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person.
And I think that you men need to make sure that you get in a great church, that you can get in touch with other people that you look to and you say, I really value their opinion.
And you know, I think probably one of the last things I would say would be, you have more influence than what you think you do, especially at home. You know, a lot of guys, they find their value, their worth in work, like we were talking about earlier. And when they come home, they think, this is a whole new world. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just gonna maybe be quiet or not speak into that or whatever. You have a lot more influence than what you think you do. And you know, one of the things that I've been guilty of, and I know you feel the same way, is when I walk in the door, I try not to bring not to bring work home with me.
Turn the phone off.
Because I, as a dad, especially as the leader of the home, you're really going to set the thermometer for the thermostat for the room. So you're setting the temperature in the room, and if you come home and you're angry and all that, you'll actually watch, and even though you might not say anything, just that feeling, your kids are going to feel that, and it's amazing to see how they start to take on those personas. So you've got to make sure that you leave that stuff at the door.
Yeah.
Don't take it inside.
You said something about work that made me think of a quote that I really liked as a father. I think it's from Andy Stanley. He says, the most important thing you do might not be something you do, but someone you raise.
Oh, that's good.
And I think about that a lot. These little ones that are screaming behind us, they might be the most important contribution we ever make.
Yeah.
And so, dads, we want to encourage you. Oh no, we got to go get some children. We got to go chase them. So we want to encourage you.
The monster's gonna get us.
Oh no! The monster's here. So Mary Charlotte,
Go scare him.
Can you say everybody?
No, don't punch him.
Say like.
Like,
Say subscribe.
subscribe,
Say hit that bell.
hit that bell.
And then say ding.
There you go.